Hello and welcome. My name is Mechanicum or Mech. Normally I would be doing either a Gunpla kit review or a deep dive into a mobile suit from the Gundam universe. However, today we're going to look over the weekend's events at the All Japan Hobby and Model Show that happened. And there was a lot of kits showing off, some stuff we already knew about, and some new stuff that was announced. And so we're going to go through it. I'm going to give a little bit of thoughts on what I think about it. But don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this. So we couldn't do this hobby show without going over Gundam releases first. And to start it all off, we're going to go with one of the MGs, the mainstay of the Bandai booth of all other Gunpla releases, the MG Atsray red frame. It is another red frame. Don't get me wrong, red frames are nice. And this is to coincide with the release of a new manga that's coming out for Gundam Seed Freedom Atsray manga. But it's a red frame. And just by looking at the kit itself here, without any colours on it yet, and just this 3D print mock-up, I don't think there's going to be much difference compared to the other MG Atsray red frames we got. So we'll have to see. Kind of a disappointment release, but hey-ho. The next big MG that came out on this was the MG Gundam Lupus, Barbatos Lupus, which, to be fair, is something that is worth looking forward to. Not only do we have the big Lupus coming out, I think it's scheduled for release November, so next month, at about 7,150 yen. Future Mech will put in how much that is in pounds. So yeah, that looks more interesting. Plus there is a expansion set coming out with extra effects and weapons, and that isn't EP Bandai, that is commercial release, and that's coming out at 2,970 yen. So that MG I'm more looking forward to than another red frame. Sorry, Rev Razor. Next MG that's coming, that's been shown off. We've already had an announcement of it, and all we've seen so far is illustration, is the MG Verkar Faz, or Full Armor Double Zeta. Now, my thoughts are a bit on this. I like the look of it. However, we have a Double Zeta Verkar. Could we not just get away with an expansion set? Yes, here and there. It is expensive too. It's set at 12,540 yen, which is a lot of money. It comes out next year in February. We'll see. But it did look interesting. And the last of the MGs is the MGEX Strike Freedom Mechanical Clear, which is going to be a P Bandai, and it's going to be 18,700 yen, which is very expensive for an MG, especially considering the Faz is only 12,540, and the Faz is going to have more to it. Yes, it's an MGEX. The thing I like about the Strike Freedom MGEX Mechanical Clear is that it shows off its gorgeous inner frame that's hidden on the normal kit. Why put all those different shades of gold and all that detail into the inner frame if you're not going to see it? So having a clear armor for it is a perfect idea, I think. That is your MGs that have been announced and shown off in the show by Bandai. Next is all the HGs. There's a lot of HGs coming. They've shown off. First off was a HG Sandrock Custom Kai from Endless Waltz. That's coming out next year in June at 4,180 yen. I'm not a fan of Sandrock. A lot of you are though, so there's always that fun. The HG Hambrabi from, I think it is from G Quaxu. Scheduled released as well in June at 2,860 yen. A lot cheaper, not as intricate, but it looks nice. And then the other thing that people have been really looking forward to that it showed off the show was a HG01 Gundam, which is the one that Char blew up in the Gundam he nicked. So that looks like it's going to be a good kit. I do look forward to that. It's unfortunately, it's a P Bandai at 2,420 yen. So then we have the HG Legend Gundam. That's coming out in January next year at 3,080 yen. It's a big HG, so it's not too bad a price for it. But I'm like, don't we already have a HG Legend? Do we need another? It's just them getting money out of the Gundam Seed Freedom movie. So then we have HG Gustav Karl. I want this. It comes out next year in February. 3,850 yen. It is a chonky mobile suit, and I love it, and I'm here for it. After that, we have HG Gundam Zagan from, looks like, the new IBO anime that's coming out. Not really my cup of tea. It might be some of your folks. It's just, it doesn't set in with normal Gundam, and it doesn't really feel like it's IBO. So it's like, Also from the new IBO series, you HG Monkey Lodi, or the Monkey Club Lodi, which is the grunt suit that's in the new IBO. This looks fun. It looks like the Gundam Geisen, or before it became for Rebake. It's very nice. I like it. The last HG, which is another one I really want, didn't really see the date or price for it, was the HG Gira Dogger Heavy Arms specification. Very chunky mobile suit. Looks amazing. I want this one. After that, we have one thing I noticed from Figurize, which was Tifa Adil from Gundam X. Mobile Suit Gundam X, I think it's called. I've not seen it or read it, so I don't know character fully, but it had a massive stand for it with her picture and everything. And it looks like they had a special edition, I think it was a special edition Gundam next to her, which looks like it's going to be a Gundam base exclusive. Released for January. There we go, next year for 4,180, which still isn't bad for a Figurize kit. Okay, so that's all for Bandai stuff that's related to Gundam. So Mega House are releasing a bunch of Gundam related stuff. Mostly, namely, is the GMG collection, which is a bunch of figures. I think for Mega House, I've got the Ramba Rao and Amuro Ray in his civilian clothes with their respective partners. They were good little figures, but these ones are like more tinier blisters, so they're not as expensive. So we've got the first ones that took my notice was for collection 13 to 15, which is the Black Tri-Stars, Gaia, Mash, and Ortega. Look great. There's no release date on these ones yet, or price, but they're going to be probably a similar price as the others. And speaking of the others, we've got a collection 09, which is Amuro Ray in his normal pilot suit. That's released for December at 3,850 yen. We also got Char in his normal pilot suit, collection 10. That's also released for December at 3,850 yen. Then we got collection 11, which is Slega Law, if you all remember him from the series. That's scheduled for next year, January, but at the same price of 3,850 yen. And then we have Mira Yashima, which is, I believe, a pilot of the Pegasus, or White Base. And she comes out in January next year in January at 3,850 yen. They all look great. And it's definitely something I'm going to keep my eye on. I definitely might give a Black Tri-Stars. Might not get Emerald Char. Might get Char. Because it's hard to get decent figures of Char. And then the final thing from Mega House, Gundam related, is their Miku crossover. So it's the 45th anniversary Hatsune Miku X 00 Gundam crossover. Now, the only reason why this interests me is because my partner likes collecting Miku figures. The Gundam Wing crossover looked amazing. Perfect. It capitalized and captured both Miku and Gundam Wing in one figure perfectly well. This one, not so much. It's just Miku sitting on a bunch of TVs in a field of flowers, which is a scene from 00, with some GN drives and a hair bows and a harrow. It's kind of a loose connection to 00, and not like the Wing figure, which was quite close and took a really good lot of aspects from Wing into her outfit. It's just her in a normal outfit with some GN drives, so not something I'm really looking forward to. Moving on to other Bandai stuff. So the main thing that took my eye in for other Bandai stuff is definitely Bautius from AC6, Visor Rubicon. And it looks amazing. Look at the size of it. It's going to be huge. If you've seen me build the Milk Toast on stream, the suit in the middle of this is the same size as that. This kit's going to be huge. I want it. For being on everyone's initial playthrough, it definitely a must-have. And then another one that took my eye, but I'm not too familiar with the anime it's from, is for Bandai Doran Type. The only reason why it took my eye is it's a nice big chunky mobile suit, and I love chunky mobile suits. All right, moving on to actual Good Smile Max Factory. So Max Factory had a main presentation, which was for the Evangelion AAA Vonda, which is a Playmax kit. Looks amazing, I have to say. Definitely something I'm going to have to look into. I have a little Gachapon figure of this model kit, and it looks great. The details look amazing. You can see here with the runners they got on display. Looks great. And then the other one that took my eye, mainly because my partner loves this character, is MASH from Fate Grand Order. Normally, for most of the characters I see that partner buys of MASH are her in the skimpy one piece with just a shield. This here with her armor and all that speaks to me because I love armor. I'm a massive fan of armor on ladies. Right, next on the agenda here, what I'm going to be going through is for tools. So there's only 3 specific tools that stood out to me throughout the entire thing. There's loads of tools there. These 3 specific ones. The first one was Semidyne Co. Limited's new hobby glue. So it looks like a super glue. It's clear. And they boast that it doesn't dry white like a lot of super glues do. It doesn't damage the paint, so it won't eat into the paint. And it's water-based, so if it does, when you put pieces together, splurge out of cracks, you can easily wipe it off with a wet wipe, or a water wipe. And I think that is going to be a good game changer. So that means that people don't have to worry about leaving blank spaces when painting for glue to weld stuff together. If that does what it says on the tin, especially for plated parts, where it won't damage the paint, I think that is going to be a very good glue to have. Next is more of a gimmick tool, but it's more for people who don't like the magnifying glasses you can buy because they hurt the bridge of your nose. Is an eyeglass tool that fits onto your finger or thumb. So while you're holding the piece you're painting or resculpting or cutting into, stuff like that, or sanding down, you can have it on your thumb, and it's just a magnifying glass with a light in it. So I thought that was a cool idea for those who don't like magnifying glasses. And then the final thing, which really did take my eye because I'm a big fan of tools, I'm a tool whore, is Algophile Sand's Damascus Mary Cutter. Now I have an anvil cutter here, which I do use for cutting angles on strips of plastic card and that. But this looks like you can just cut through anything. So I'm going to have to see if I can get me a pair of these. It's not too hard to import stuff from Japan cutter-wise. So we'll see. All right, there are only 2 things for me that stood out from the Kotobukiya booth. One was for life-size Todoroki, which you can see here from the 2 videos I've managed to find, which is animated and voiced. It's your typical what do they call theirs? Frame arm girls, I think. I think she's a frame arm girl. But yeah, it's going to take everyone's eye. That is a giant life-size model kit with bright fucking blue and white Shinipan on display. Jesus. And then the only other thing that took my fancy from them was for Rocketman X Iris. And she just looks cute. I'm not familiar much with Mega Man's franchise or the animes and games it comes from, but she looks incredibly adorable, and this is something I might have to get hold of. We now move on to Belfine. Now, the main reason Belfine took my eye this year at this hobby event was that they announced that they are working alongside the creator of Tank Head, Emerson Tung. They produce some of the best alternative art of mobile suit, mecha, and tank designs that I really love. And there is a fellow hobby builder on Twitter who has designed a few Warhammer dreadnoughts around Tankhead stuff. So this is going to be great. The only one picture I've got so far was for Type 33 Hikagan, which is a crab tank. Love it. Can't wait to see what else they pull out from his books. But I love it. And then the other thing Belfine just caught my eye with was the Blade Runner stuff that they're releasing. So the first one is for 1/32 scale spinner from the 2049 film. And then the second was Deckard spinner. So the 2049 one, they have colored picture models of already. Looks great. Unfortunately, I only had a prototype of Deckard's spinner, but again, if it's anything like the other spinner, it's going to look amazing. And then they had a prototype one scale Deckard blaster on display. And I'm like, so many people and so many companies have tried to recreate this blaster from Blade Runner, and I think Adam Savage is one of them who's tried so hard to try and get it as close to the original. So just looking at these pictures, looks amazing. So it's another thing that I'm definitely going to have to get. We've got the Wave X Tachibana Neko Kogoyo collaboration for Full Metal Panic. Again, another one I haven't seen or read before. I should really get more into my mecha anime than just Gundam and Evangelion. But they're releasing the Invisible Victory Lavatane. And I just like the look of it, really. As mobile suits go, or mecha go, it's really nice. And then another standout figurine, it's more of a figure than it is a model kit, is the Prime Studios T800 exoskeleton. And this thing just looks beautiful. It looks amazing. It's going to be expensive, so I don't think I'm going to be able to buy one. But there it is if you're interested in it. When I'm almost done, don't worry. I've got a few more to go through. So the next booth that took my eye was Kyodos, and they part of their Art Pra series, following for Godzilla they released. They're releasing King Ghidorah, and it looks great. It looks just like the classic monster. Definitely something that I might have to buy myself. I've been a while since I bought kits like that. I used to do them back in the day when I was a kid. So it'd be interesting to see what this is like. This next model kit I saw, and I thought, well, my partner wants that. Will want that. Definitely want that, and want me to make it and paint it. Is the Nikkei or Goddess of Victory 1F scale Alice. And I have to say, she looks good. Plastic kit wise, it looks amazing. Partner's got a figure of her already, but she'll want me to get this, which is also 1/8 figure. I think it's in a similar pose to the figure, so we'll see how nice it looks. But I might have to get hold of this one. And then finally, we're on to the Takara Tomy booth. What are you barking at? You done? Takara Tomy. They released a few Transformers, but only 4 really took my eye. Will you be quiet, dog? She's boofing now. The first one is they announced 2 Overgear Transformers. They've got the Ironhide and Blackout. They both look amazing in both their vehicle and bot form. They look imposing, look very detailed, and definitely something to keep an eye out for. Next one they released was a Masterpiece movie series. Not for Cat 2. Go away. Go away. Go away. No. 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 No, no, no. No. So yeah, next is a movie masterpiece series, which is Sideswipe. Wasn't really much of a fan of the Sideswipe from the Transformers movies. In car mode, he was fine. Classic Chevy, all that. But when he became bot mode, he looked too bulky to be Sideswipe, to be honest. Sideswipe, I thought, was all about being agile and all that. But that's my honest opinion. Might be different for everyone else. And the last, but not least, is the crossover Evangelion Prime. Looks amazing. Looks like you're going to have 2 different heads for him. One being his standard Optimus Prime head. One being the Evangelion mech crossed with Prime's head. Looks amazing. Definitely something to look out for. But I want to see what it looks like colored first before I make any decisions on whether to get it or not. And there you have it. Those are what I thought were standout kits from the All Japan Hobby and Model Show 2025 that happened this weekend. If you like this video, please slash that like button with a beam saber. If you want to see more videos like this, or just want to see any future videos or live streams, which I will be live streaming tonight, this Monday of the 20th October, then blast that subscribe button with a beam rifle. And don't forget, I want to hear what you thought about the selection of kits I've chosen. Was there any other kits you saw at this show that you managed to see on Twitter or anywhere else that you like the look of and I haven't mentioned? Or whether or not any of this is any interest to you. Let me know by dropping a comment like a colony below. And remember, knowledge is power. Bye now.